Indeed, what we can say is that the interest of scientists certainly started, in fact, with the problem of the astronauts who first went into space, since they realized that in rotation around the Earth multiple times, it would create disturbances in their sleep cycle. So NASA looked into it and thought that it was certainly related to light exposure, the fact that we intuitively fall asleep and wake up. And they demonstrated at the time that using red light, probably to reproduce the feeling of a sunset, made it easier for astronauts to fall asleep. And even today, in the International Space Station, for example, astronauts sleep in small booths where they have a little red light to make them fall asleep better. In general, red is perceived as the color of aggression. In reality, it's the opposite, and when you experience it, you can actually feel it. That is to say that red light is soothing and blue light is not. The first reaction when people see this red light at 630 nanometers is to think, this is really soothing. It's a soft, pleasant, rather reassuring light. In effect, studies show that it's not just exposure to red light, it's exposure to red light at a specific wavelength. The Helight Sleep device is almost monochromatic, which is really at 630 nanometers. It's not only a perception of red, it's actually red.
It perhaps changed the way I perceive bedtime, sleep, and falling asleep. Whereas before it might have taken an hour and a half and I was really putting off going to bed until I was really tired to be sure that I was going to sleep. But now, I don't see the end of the device's program. I settle down and it's a bit of a ritual that I have put in place and that I know helps me to be well answering to sleep.
I'm a CEO. So let's just say that I'm still working a lot at night. I won't lie and say that I believed it right away. No, I told myself that I have nothing to lose. I don't sleep anyway. It practically worked from the first night. Without the light, it's nearly 2 hours before I start feeling sleepy.
I must say that the first night, the red light bothered me. I thought, oh, the red light. I turned to the other side. And then finally, I persisted, and I fell asleep. Something that I could not do. The night before, I had a sleepless night. The night before that, I had fallen asleep very badly and had a restless sleep, even after falling asleep. But now, it is true that I end up relaxing and falling asleep.
I was more or less used to being on my phone, like a lot of us, I think. And having the light on creates this moment where I said to myself, now it's time to fall asleep. So I turn it on and relax. I find this light reassuring actually. It's soothing.
I feel quite zen in fact, with this light that bathes on me. So I close my eyes and have the impression when the light slowly dims and it finally goes out. I have this feeling, almost like someone taking you by the hand and leads you to sleep, and often I fall asleep before complete darkness. I don't realize that the light is completely off. With children, it's a routine. They immediately ask for a red light, or as my youngest would try to say, as she couldn't speak very well some time ago, so they ask for the red light to fall asleep.
The idea is that we're going to stimulate, directly or indirectly, certain cells that will introduce a behavior, per se, of the brain or a reaction of the brain in the expression of certain hormones. In fact, the brain realizes that it's not exposed to blue light, it's exposed to red light. This red light is not at all stimulating, it's not irritating, not aggressive, not hyperstimulating. On the contrary, it promotes rest since there is no stimulation of cognitive functions or excitement. It's a differentiating effect, which is not at all the effect we have with light therapy.
So from time to time, I wake up again. However, I turn it back on to go back to sleep again, and I fall asleep as quickly. I tried other things. I tried drugs. I tried acupuncture, because I also believe in acupuncture and alternative medicine. But acupuncture did not work for me, whereas red light worked for me.